Chapter 2.3 notes. By the end of this video, you should be able to solve multi-step equations. Okay, example 1. I have an equation that I'm going to highlight in pink, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to highlight my variable in blue. But what you'll notice is that I have two spots where I have a variable. That's new to you. What you need to do is on each side, before you solve an equation, you always need to make sure that it's completely simplified on each side. So on the left, you have just 5. That's as simple as it's going to get, so move to the right-hand side. On the right-hand side of the equation, you've got 5m and 2m. You can combine those. Positive 5m plus positive 2m is positive 7m. And then minus 23 doesn't have a like term that you can combine with it, so you just write it on the end. Now you solve your equation like we did in the last video. Find your m. Now, the order of operations would say I have to multiply by 7 and then subtract 23. But when I solve equations, I do it in the opposite of the order of operations. So I'm going to first undo the subtraction by adding, and I get 28 equals 7m. Then I'm going to undo the multiplication by dividing by 7, and I get m equals 4. And that's your final answer. You can check your work when you do these by taking the number and replacing m with it in your problem and making sure that you get a true statement. So if I replace m with it, I would have this, and you simplify that and you get 5 equals 20 minus 23 plus 8. So 5 equals negative 3 plus 8, which is true, so I would know right now that my answer is correct. Guided practice number 1. I'm going to do the first one with you and then ask you to do the next one by yourself. If you'll look and find your variable, I see that there's two spots where I have a variable. So I am going to combine like terms. 11m minus 6m is going to give me 5m minus 8 equals 22. Add 8 to both sides, and you get 5m equals 30. Divide both sides by 5, and you get m equals 6. You can check it. 11 times m would be 11 times 6 minus 8 minus 6 times 6 equals 22. And you get 66 minus 8 minus 36 equals 22. And that 66 minus 36 is going to give me 30. And 30 minus 8 is indeed 22. So my answer is correct. M does equal 6. Alright, the next question. I want you to pause the video and I'll give you the answer in just a second. Okay, you have two like terms on the left-hand side, so you need to combine them, and you get 3y plus 5 equals 14. To solve this, you would first subtract 5, and you get 3y equals 9. Then you would divide both sides by 3, and you get y equals 3. You can check that by plugging it back in and checking to see if it makes a true statement. Example 2, first we have to write our multi-step equation in this one, and then we have to solve it. It says that bumper stickers cost $1. That's important. And then this question, or this statement right here, is probably going to be our equation. Martha's niece wants 1 shirt and 4 bumper stickers. If she wants 1 shirt and 4 bumper stickers, that's 4 times $1. Her nephew wants 2 shirts and no bumper stickers, and her total is going to be $67. And we have to figure out how much the shirt costs. So this looks just like the one we just did. We're going to have to combine like terms, and we get 3s plus 4 equals 67 subtract 4 from both sides, and 3s equals 63, which means if you divide both sides by 3, you get s equals 21. So the shirt cost $21. Alright, guided practice number 2. Noah and Kate are shopping for new guitar strings in a music store. Noah buys 2 packs of guitar strings, so 2 strings. Kate buys 2 packs of guitar strings and a book. The book costs $16. Their total is $72. And they want you to tell them how much a pack of strings is. So pause the video, solve this on your own, and I'll give you the answer in just a second. If you combine like terms, you get 4s plus 16 equals 72. Then when you solve it, you would subtract 16 from both sides, and you get 4s equals 56. Divide both sides by 4. So s equals 14. So your answer is $14 per pack of strings. Example 3. We have a new type of multi-step equation. This time we're going to have to solve using the distributive property. So if you'll look at your equation, you've got negative 8 times all of this, 2x minus 1, equals 36. Like I said before, you always need to make sure each side of the equation is simplified before you try to solve it. So the first thing you need to do here is distribute the negative 8, and you get negative 16x plus 8 equals 36. Now you solve by doing the backwards order of operations. So we're first going to subtract 8 to undo addition. And we get 28. Then we divide both sides by negative 16. And we get negative 28 over 16, which will reduce to negative 7 over 4. Okay, guided practice number 3. I want you to use the distributive property to solve this one. Pause the video, try it on your own, and I'll give you the answer in just a second. Okay, you get 18 equals 3 times 2x is 6x, minus 3 times 6 is 18. To solve it, you're going to do the backwards order of operations, so we're going to add 18, and we get 36 equals 6x. Divide both sides by 6, and you get x equals 6. Again, you can check that by taking your number that you got for x and plugging it back in for x and seeing if it makes the equation true. Example 4. When you have an equation that contains fractions, the best thing you can do is to get rid of the fractions. And you're probably thinking, well, if I knew I could get rid of fractions, I would have done that a long time ago. But what you have to do is multiply equation by the common denominator. If you've got 4 and 3, you're going to multiply the entire equation by 12. So 4 cancels into 12, or 4 will divide into 12 3 times. And you multiply the top by the 3, and you get 9x. 3 will divide into 12 4 times. Multiply the top by 4, and you get 4x. And then 12 times 10 is 120. Okay, you're going to combine like terms, 9x minus 4x, and you get 5x equals 120. Divide both sides by 5. So x equals 24. And then from this point down, you didn't have to deal with any fractions. So I'm going to show you that one more time in guided practice number 4. you have the denominators 5 and 4, so the common denominator is going to be 20. 5 will go into 24 times, so you're going to multiply the numerator by 4 and you get 8b. 4 will go into 25 times, so you're going to multiply the numerator by 5 and you get 15b. And then you just do 3 times 20 and you get 60. 8b and 15b gives you 23b. And then if you divide both sides by 23, your answer is going to be 60. You can't reduce it, so it's going to be 60 over 23. And yes, that's the answer. Don't freak out just because you get a fraction. Or you can change it to a mixed number and do 2 and 14 23rds. Both of them are right because they are equivalent fractions. Guided practice number 4. You have the common denominator of 18. So if you multiply the whole equation by 18, 9 will go into 18 2 times, so you multiply the numerator by 2 and you get 2. 6 will go into 18 3 times, so you multiply the numerator by 3 and you get 15. 3 will go into 18 6 times, so we're going to multiply m times 6 and we get 6m. To solve it, you want to subtract 15 from both sides. We get negative 13 equals negative 6. Divide both sides by negative 6, and you get 13 over 6, or 2 and 1/6. All right, example 5. What is the solution of 3.5 minus 0.2x equals 1.24? When you have decimals in your equation, you can get rid of the decimals, just like you can get rid of the fractions. But what you want to do is multiply by a factor of 10 that has as many zeros as the greatest number of decimal places you have in your equation. So I have 1, 2, and then 2, so I'm going to multiply by a factor of 10 that has 2 zeros, meaning 100. And then that's just going to move my decimal 2 places to the right. So instead of 3.5, that's going to be 350. Instead of 0.02, that's going to be 2x. And instead of 1.24, that's going to be 124. Then you solve the equation just like you have so far. We're going to subtract 350. And you get negative 2x equals negative 226. Divide both sides by negative 2, and you get x equals positive 113. Okay, guided practice number 5. Pause the video, try this one on your own, and I will give you the answer in just a second. Okay, if I want to get rid of the decimal, I'm going to have to multiply by 1,000. Or move all the decimal places 3 places to the right. So instead of 0.5, that's going to be 500x, 2,325, and then 3,950. Add 2325 to both sides. And you get 500x equals 6275. Divide both sides by 500. And you get 12.55. And that's your final answer. Here are your guided questions. I need you to, on a separate sheet of paper, do all 4 questions. Write down the question, the work, and the answer. You have to show all of your work to get credit. Make sure your name's on it and bring it to me tomorrow for proof that you did your homework.